In a city that never sleeps, where the hustle and bustle is the rhythm of life, one man moves quietly through the chaos. His journey, however, is far from ordinary. This is the story of a man whose life was irrevocably changed by a childhood accident. Yet he refused to let that moment define his future. He chose instead a path of resilience, faith, and unwavering determination. It was an ordinary day in the village. Children played, unaware of the dangers that lurked around them. For this young boy, a moment of innocent curiosity turned into a nightmare that would haunt him for the rest of his life. At just 3 years old, he fell into a large vat of boiling sugar at the local factory. His mother's swift action saved his life, but the damage was done. His hands were burned beyond repair, leaving him with scars that would never heal. His eyesight, too, was affected as the hot sugar splattered onto his face. From that day forward, his life would be a constant struggle. But even then, at such a young age, the boy had a spirit that refused to be broken.
I was only 3 years old. I remember the pain, but mostly, I remember my mother's face, how she looked when she pulled me out. My hands, my eyes. They've been like this since then. My friends didn't really understand what had happened to me. They didn't know what it meant and how it would change my life. People would look at me with pity. Some said I was lucky to be alive. Others said that God kept me alive for a reason.
As he grew older, the boy realized that his life would never be like the others. Simple tasks, things most children did without a second thought, became monumental challenges for him. His hands, though still functional, were weakened by the scars, unable to perform even basic actions. His eyes, too, were damaged, making it difficult to see clearly. But even in the face of these challenges, he never gave up. But the city was not what he had expected. In a place where everyone seemed to be in a hurry, there was little time for kindness. People stared at him, but not with pity, with indifference. To them, he was just another beggar, another man with no future. In the city, begging was a way of life for many people with disabilities. It was easy. Sit by the roadside, hold out your hand, and wait for someone to take pity on you. But for this man, begging was never an option. He had vowed, from the moment he arrived in the city, that he would find a way to make his own living, no matter how difficult it might be.
When I first came to the city, people asked me why I didn't beg. They said I would make more money that way. But I knew that if Allah saved me and kept me alive, there must be a way for me to make money without begging. I hated the idea of relying on others' pity.
In the city, he found an unexpected source of help: his sister's husband. A rickshaw driver by trade, his brother-in-law saw something in him that others didn't. He saw potential. He offered the man a chance to learn the trade, to drive rickshaws in his spare time. It wasn't an easy job, but it was an honest one.
The person who helped me the most was my sister's husband. He used to drive rickshaws, and he let me use his after hours. He trained me, showed me how to handle the bike, how to deal with customers. At first, I didn't know if I could do it. My hands, they're not like everyone else's. But he believed in me, and I started to believe in myself.
With time and practice, he learned how to drive the rickshaw. It wasn't easy. His hands made every movement a challenge. But he persevered. He adapted, just as he had done all his life. And eventually, he was ready to take on the streets of the city on his own. Against all odds, he had done it. He had found a way to support himself, to earn a living without relying on the pity of others. For the first time in his life, he was independent, and it was all thanks to his faith in God, his determination, and the support of those who believed in him.
All thanks and praise to Allah, I was able to manage it. I was allowed to drive solo in this big city, and I've been doing it for 15 or 16 years now. I've made a life for myself. I got married, I have 2 kids, and my parents are still alive. Everything I have is because of Allah's mercy. I can't even lift a pen properly, but I went to madrasa. What I learned there helped me manage my life, my family. I always believed that Allah had a plan for me, and I trusted in that plan, even when things were hard. Some people are a little stingy. They won't pay the full price. Instead of paying 40 cents, they'll give me 30. But I've never encountered bad behavior. They might try to give me less, but they're never rude. And I've learned to accept it. It's part of the job.
Life as a rickshaw driver was not without its challenges. Some customers, seeing his disability, tried to take advantage of him. They would offer less than the agreed fare, assuming that he had no choice but to accept whatever they gave him. Despite his disabilities, his wife accepted him for who he was. She saw past the scars, past the hardships, and saw the man beneath, the man who had fought for everything he had.
I love my wife. MashaAllah. She's a very loving and caring person. I thank Allah every day for sending her into my life. She never treated me badly because of my condition. She accepted me, just as I am. I hate the idea of begging. I hate it from the bottom of my heart. Begging for money, for people to feel sorry for me. It's something I can't do. I don't care what others think. If anyone in a similar condition really wants to work, God will help them. Allah will provide a way. I've been driving this rickshaw for 15 or 16 years now. I've built a life for myself, for my family. I may not have much, but I have everything I need. Allah has blessed me in ways I could never have imagined. If I've learned anything in this life, it's that God helps those who help themselves. No matter how hard things get, no matter what challenges you face, if you have faith, and if you're willing to work hard, you can overcome anything.
Throughout his life, he had resisted the temptation to take the easy way out. Begging for many in his situation was an easy solution, but for him, it was a line he could never cross. To beg was to give up on the life he had fought so hard to build. For this man, life has never been easy. Against all odds, he has built a life of dignity and purpose. And in the end, that is the greatest victory of all. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe.